Hello! First of all, there is a first season review which you should watch before this one. You don't need it, but I recommend it. Also, like the video, that helps a lot. This winter season 2023 was weird. Besides the fact that I wasn't watching that much anime, the ones I was watching did not feel review worthy. I could do a tier list as always, but I honestly hate those. I want to avoid doing them as much as I can. So here we are with the second season of Danmachi, which was released in the summer season 2019, 4 years after the first season. I remember being surprised at seeing this announcement. I thought Sword Oratoria would be our last entry in the series. But no, we were blessed with a second season and I watched it on release and never revisited until this review. Which, by the way, let me give you one of my totally accurate summaries of it. Back at it again with our favorite wimp. We finally survived the deep layers of the cock and ball torture dungeon and now we can live peacefully in the main city of Lucario. Except that our protagonist made the life mistake of existing, and because of that every female and even male gods wants to fuck him. Now it's up to Belle to not only survive but also steal their homes and collect loot, not in the dungeons, but in the surface of the city, ruining the evil god's plans and taking as much money and woman he can so he can finally do batshit nothing with it, because he still has to pay the credit card debt for his overpriced knife skin. Taking this out of the way, comedy was awful. It was already questionable at the first season, but now they lost the sense of urgency. Hestia decides to confess her loves when Belle and her are being chased to death, and it's not an emotional moment. The show treats it as a joke. The characters do strange poses, and again, this already happened in the first season, but it was not as nonsensical as before. It was something cartoonish. The timing for comedy was lost and you can definitely see it. I don't know what happened to whoever was in charge of that in the first season bringing him back. He was doing a decent job at least. The story is bad. In the first season we had this build up of Belle becoming stronger and gather allies and even getting a level up, right? So you would expect that now he has to improve his mental game, either his emotional discipline or his sense of strategy, leadership, any skill that requires brain over muscle, but no. The show decides that we need a god villain to fix the housing problem, and to defeat him, Belle only needs to get stronger again. That's it. This is not good. Nothing changed. He's still the same terrible Marichu who doesn't have flaws. I would even say that things got worse. There was a charm from the abandoned church. Yes, it wasn't pretty, it was barely livable, but seeing Belle and Hestia having dinner, sleeping in the couch, you could feel how they were together not because of interest, but because they love each other. Unfortunately, now that feeling is lost. Belle even says in the confession that I mentioned before that he just respects Hestia. The author, instead of treating her as his reason to fight, he now treats her as a tool to improve his main character combat levels, which sadly describes all the cast. Tools. That's what the other characters are treated as. They are archetypes that gives the main character more power or a reason to fight. That also goes for the villains. Of course, some characters can be written this way, there's nothing wrong with it, but they should impact the main character or be a character of their own. Although some of them are given a backstory, in the end they all revolve around helping Belle or simping for him. Imagine how cool it would be seeing them follow their own goals and succeed in something they desire. Well, Fallen being able to craft weapons more powerful than the Crozo's magic weapons. Lily trying to fix the deranged state of the Soma Familia. Things which Belle has nothing to do with and can't help by fighting someone. Or if he still needs to be the main character, we could try making him learn a new approach and becoming a better character with this experience. And I'm not talking about the XP numbers. Something more than the formula of Belle finds someone that needs help / gets an enemy that he has to fight. He gets stronger in order to defeat the enemy. He defeats the enemy with no casualties / saves the girl with no casualties, and everyone lives happy. With all of this amazing cast and role, I would love seeing something that could use it to its full potential, and more importantly, a main character that improves more than combat. The world building was the only thing that I was not disappointed by. We got to see more of the situation of the Lily's familia and her arc. It was rushed, but at least they didn't give it proper attention. You could see more of Horario and places from the city, like the Pleasure Quarter or Red Light District, which was present since the first season. You could see Amazones walking over Horario as background characters. And if the first season was more dungeon focused, this one they expanded the city and the gods' relationships, which was great. Oh, I also like how they use Bell as the hero to subvert the classic tales. In his conversations with Haruhime, we see him talking about various ones. However, even as a hero, he doesn't care saving a prostitute, which in the same stories they mention, it always means trouble. The anime uses its own theme of gods and mythologies to its own advantage. I love seeing this. However, that also is a lie, since Belle is the generic shonen main character. Besides the world building and theme, everything else is so disappointing. The Red Light District arc is slightly better than the first half. Bell for the first time has to consider the intricacies of saving someone that he shouldn't. However, his actions are still the same and he saves everyone without any casualties because of course he does. Dialogue is way worse. There was a legit people die when they are killed conversation with Aisha. He, for some reason, has the power of crystallized emotions or something like that, which apparently makes him not being able to be charmed by a goddess. Can't believe they make virginity a skill, and dear god, they gave us a female ugly bastard. I totally forgot about that Toad girl. I take what I said back. Besides Ecchi and two fights that were really well animated and choreographed, this arc was terrible. Not even the animation and music saved it for me. The two last episodes of the season really gives me what Danmachi is all about. We have Hester leaving the city and getting kidnapped, and he goes to save her. He meets an old man who was in love with his goddess but unfortunately got separated from her, which she sacrificed to save his life. And well, he eventually dies, but before that, says to Belle to treat her goddess, and if he really loves her, he would go for it. But the show does not do that, because this is only a generic shonen anime about battles and nothing else. Look, if you enjoyed Danmachi, I can definitely see why. This show has one of the best and most interesting worlds. The gods of many mythologies, the dungeon, the whole familiar and level up system. Even the ecchi is fantastic. But dear god, I hate the protagonist in writing. It looks like something I would see in trash isekai, when it shouldn't. This series had the potential to be up there with other great shonen. However, it delivers what your average seasonal anime would. The worst part of it is that just like Bell, this series refuses to give us any emotional, romantic or deep relationships because it's too scared of changing.